Lindsay Polson. I'm an IST195 and this is my Project 2 video. The project is on a social media website that we are doing a review of, and the social media website that I picked was Pinterest. I wanted to just say before I start talking about it or anything that what I'm about to say is written by me and are my own personal opinions, not anyone else's. So there's that. So basically I chose Pinterest, and there's a couple of points I'm gonna hit on. Like, I'm gonna do the overview, and then I'm gonna talk about like pros, cons, like whether or not I would use it. So at first glance, Pinterest, it looks interesting. It has pretty pictures. It's like, it pleases the eye. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It looks good. It doesn't look like some ugly website that you have to really get into to understand it or whatever. It's right there. You understand it. It's good. So basically what Pinterest is, it is a virtual pin board. So, and you can have different boards of your own with certain categories or themes. So say a lot of like popular categories, you could have a hair category, you could have a tattoos category or board, you could have a my future wedding board. And so, and what you do is you repin these pictures into your certain board. So you see the hairstyle that you want for your wedding, you repin that into your my future wedding board, and that's how it works. So if somebody clicks on your certain board, they see all of the pictures that have to do with one category. And I think that's really, I like that idea. It's a good thing. It's easy. You don't have to go searching through to find something that you want. It's right there. You get to see it. And if you're looking for something, it narrows it down a lot more. That if you're like, oh, I remember something that I saw and I want to show someone, it narrows it down for you. It's right there. You see it. It's not a big hassle or anything. So another thing, something that I really didn't like about Pinterest, because I hadn't ever used it before this project came up. I had never used Pinterest before. I had heard about it a lot. I know a lot of people that use it, but I had never personally used it. So something that I don't like about Pinterest is that I don't really think it's that social. I guess, yeah, you're sharing your interests with other people, but if you can't communicate with them. As far as I can tell, you can't communicate with people on Pinterest. If you're following someone on Pinterest, following a certain board of theirs, and they like all of the same music as you, they have like all of the same taste in style, like clothes, something, and they seem like someone that you would really be interested in talking to, becoming friends with, you can't really do that on Pinterest. You can connect it to your Facebook, you can connect it to your Tumblr, but you're not going to be able to if you're just a Pinterest user, you're not going to really be able to communicate with these people unless maybe you put your email in your description and you start emailing them or something. It's not, Pinterest doesn't really cater to that. And so that way I think it's not as social as all of the other sites that I use, like Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook. Tumblr being my favorite. So I do compare Pinterest and Tumblr a little bit in here. I'm going to try not to do it that much, but I just think Tumblr and Pinterest have a lot in common. So that's why I'm going to compare them a little bit. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that you can't really design the board to make it look how you want to. On Tumblr, for example, you can design it exactly how you want it to look. You can say, I want this to be my background, I want my sidebar to look like this, I want my pictures to be, I want to have a linear blog where just picture on top of picture. I want my blog to be sort of a jumble, like a bunch of pictures all at once. You get to do that on Tumblr. On Pinterest, you can't really do that. You can't design it. You can't make it look however you want. And that's something, I think it sort of stifles the creativity, and I don't really like that much. But I think that for maybe the older generation, Pinterest would be a good idea because, I mean, it's easy, it's simple, and they're not really that concerned with meeting new people. They don't want to take the time to design their blog or whatever. So I think maybe the older generation, like my parents or maybe people in their 30s, they could maybe use Pinterest and that would be more of interest to them. So basically, I think Pinterest is a good idea. It's easy to use, it's visually pleasing, but it's not really something that I would use. I don't see anything on it that Tumblr doesn't have, and that's really just the main thing of it. I don't think that Pinterest offers anything that I don't already get out of other social networking sites, so that's why I probably wouldn't use it, but I think it's a good idea, and I know a lot of people do use it, so that's basically my thoughts on Pinterest.